most amazing artist. I hope you're having a terrific day today. We are going to be working on week 4 of our Kusama pumpkins, and this is actually the last step for our Kusama pumpkins. All we need to do today is cut our pumpkin out and glue it to our background that we made last week. So to do this today, you're of course going to need your pumpkin that we drew with our pattern of polka dots, and you will need your background, which is a pattern of different shapes. You're also going to need a pair of scissors, and what I like to use whenever I'm gluing is this little glue cup, and it's just regular white glue, and I like to water it down a little bit because it makes the glue last longer, and a little cheap paintbrush that I use to apply the glue. The reason why I like this is because you can control where your glue goes a little bit better, but if you don't have this set up at home, then feel free to use a glue stick or a glue bottle. If you don't have glue at all, then you can actually just use tape. So that's everything you're going to need today. Let's go ahead and get started. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out my pumpkin. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this pumpkin took me quite a while to draw and add those patterns using my best craftsmanship. So today, when you're cutting, try your best to be as neat as possible. Cutting is a huge part of craftsmanship. I can tell if you rushed your cutting when it's really, really messy and kind of choppy. So to help you get nice, smooth edges, what you're going to do is you're going to hold your scissors with one hand, and this hand is only opening and closing our scissors. The scissors are not moving around my paper. They're actually staying in the same exact place. They're only opening and closing. My other hand over here, I like to call him my lazy hand. He's holding my paper in place, and he's actually going to show my scissors where to cut. So my scissors are staying in the same place, but this hand over here is moving and rotating my paper around, showing my scissors where to cut. Not only does this help your craftsmanship, but it's also practicing very good scissor safety, because we always want to be cutting away from ourselves. We never want our scissors to be facing towards ourselves, because that could be very dangerous. So always make sure your scissors are pointed away from you and that your scissors are staying in the same place. Your lazy hand is showing your scissors where to cut. I have some extra scraps of paper. If you're at home, you can recycle this, or you can save it for another project that you might want to do later on. After you have cut out your pumpkin nice and neatly, we are going to place it on our background, and that looks really, really cool with those two different patterns contrasting each other and these two colors really contrasting each other. It looks really, really cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to position it where I want it. Do I want it more towards the top? Do I want it more towards the bottom, or in the middle? I think I want my pumpkin to be more in the middle. So once I have figured out where I want my pumpkin placed, that's actually called composition. Whenever you're placing certain things in your artwork, that is called creating the composition of your artwork. So for my composition, I would like my pumpkin to be in the middle. Once you figure out your composition, you can flip your pumpkin over to the back, and if you're using this glue setup like me, we are going to do dot dot not a lot all the way around the edges of your pumpkin. If you're using a glue stick, you can kind of do the same method by just running your glue stick around the edge of your pumpkin. You don't really need to put glue in the middle, because if your edges are secured, then you should be good to go. Your pumpkin will stick down. So I'm just going to put glue around the edges. I'm not going to put glue in the middle. And I'm doing these little dots around the edge because that is going to remind myself to not use a lot of glue. Dot, dot, not a lot. Because if you use too much glue, then it's going to get all messy and it's going to get very sticky, and that is not what we want. So I'm going to do dot, dot, not a lot all the way around the edge of my pumpkin. And I'll be right back to show you how to glue it on. I just finished putting those dots of glue all the way around the edge of my pumpkin. Don't need any in the middle. And I'm going to flip my paper over, bring over my background, and position it where I want it to go. That looks pretty good. Once I placed it down, I'm going to press down along those edges to make sure they are glued on nice and tight. Sometimes to make sure it sticks all the way while that glue is drying, you can hold it down in certain areas if it's wanting to poke up a little bit. And sometimes you might have to add a little bit more glue if one corner or something is just not sticking down. So I'm just gonna hold some areas down that are wanting to come up. And once I feel like it is secure, I'm going to do something called a wiggle test. And that is where you flip your artwork over and you just give it a little wiggle. If you do it too hard, your pumpkin is definitely going to fall off. So just gently wiggle it a little bit. And if none of your edges are coming up, they're all nice and flat, then you're good to go. If you have some edges coming up, please make sure you glue them down all the way. Like I said earlier, you might have to add a little bit more glue to make sure all those edges are stuck down. Once you cut out and glue your pumpkin to your background, then you are done for today. If you're in my online classes, make sure you keep this in a very safe place because we are going to use it next week. Even though we're finished with it, we still need to share it with each other. So go ahead, put it in your art folder or wherever you put your artwork so that you don't lose it and nothing happens to it. I hope you guys have had a lot of fun during this project and learning about Yayoi Kusama. She's a super amazing artist and just a true inspiration. I can't wait to see how your final Kusama pumpkins turn out. I know they're going to be amazing because you guys are amazing. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.